down
The
there,
views
but
and
I know we
opinions
got
of
two
this
shits over
broadcast
there,
do
but
not reflect the views
we're
and
over there all the
opinions of
time. It's a
Armed
common
Media,
practice,
Uni
but
Productions,
China's
and
kind of
its
warning us, so way
affiliates.
back off or something.
Enjoy
I
the
don't
show.
know. I got it down here.
Well,
If we make it that far.
Donna always does that.
But Dave,
Alright, you got about 10 seconds.
oh shit.
We're good.
Got my
Coming in. We're live.
Hello, everybody out there listening to our show tonight. All aboard. I'm Don Wisman. I'm sitting here with Dave Coots. Dave, you want to say hello to everybody?
Hey, everybody, how you doing?
That was a very short hello, Dave, but that'll work, man. And as always, I want to send my prayers out to all our men and women serving in the military, and I want to send a big thank you out to all of our country's veterans from the past and present. You guys, you deserve it. I thank you, and everybody should thank our veterans because they're the ones that have kept our they've protected our freedoms here in this country, and that's something I'm always going to do that every week on this show, Dave. I'm always going to do that because I think those guys deserve the best, brother.
Oh, absolutely. As long as we're free and we can do the show, we do it for them.
And really, Dave, everything we really do, it is about preserving our freedoms. If you think about it, man, in this country, a patriot or whatever we do, it's about preserving our freedoms. If you think about it, and it is.
It really is. I mean, we have the luxuries that we have because of their sacrifices.
You're exactly right on that one. But even happiness, Dave. I mean, that even comes along with our freedoms, because without freedoms, you wouldn't even have happiness. So our freedoms is really, to me, Dave, I think it's what it's all about. And I really never went on this long about that, but it's true. And I hope everybody out there had a great Memorial Day weekend. I know I did. I hope everybody gave our soldiers some thoughts this weekend. I hope they spent a lot of time with their family and their friends and had cookouts. And Dave, I'm already looking forward to the 4th of July, brother.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorite holidays.
Me too. And Dave, before we really get going here, though, I want to send my prayers out too, Dave, to all the little children out there that suffer from cancer right now, and to their families, Dave, because, man, I had cancer as an adult, Dave, and I just couldn't imagine a child going through something like cancer. And I got this thing here from a friend of mine. He's got this foundation set up called the Christopher Lee Foundation, and you can find it on Facebook. But if it's not working, try back later where you can donate, and it goes to little kids around our area, to like a cancer patients or something like that. But Dave, that cancer, I couldn't imagine. Could you imagine having a child with cancer, Dave? It's just not right, brother.
No, it's not. That's something that I've been blessed with. All my kids have been relatively healthy. Kira almost died one time, and to go through that every single day, my heart goes out to them.
We should really thank the Lord every day that we've got healthy children, because a lot of people, Dave, they've got sick children, and I just think that would be a parent's worst nightmare or something like that. I couldn't imagine it, Dave. Just the way cancer's horrible, and it ain't really the cancer. It's the freaking treatments, and the treatments hurt, Dave. They really do. And I'll tell you, if they've got a cure for it and they're holding it out, just because they make more money from the what we call it, from the treatments. That's what it is. I think these insurance companies, or the pharmaceutical companies, they make more money from the treatments. And if they're holding out a cure, I would tell every one of them to go to hell right now. They deserve to go in hell if they're holding a treatment out for all them little kids, especially the children, Dave.
Yeah, it's always rumored, there's more money in the treatment than the cure, so.
I don't know. I don't know if they have a cure, but I just hope they do find a cure, and the way these little kids don't have to suffer. But I want to tell everybody out there that we do have a Facebook group. And if you support Donald Trump and you love this country, you're more than welcome to join. The name of our Facebook group is called Trump 2020 ! just don't forget that exclamation point, because there's quite a few Trump 2020s. Trump 2020 exclamation point. Like I said, join our group. By 2020, I guarantee you. I mean, it gives us a lot of power. Dave, is what it does. I mean, to talk and communicate with each other. You know what I mean? From people from different states. So join the group. Good group, and we try to keep the trolls out too. We really do. And for everybody out there listening tonight, we also have another group. It's called All Aboard. It's on Facebook. You can actually go there right now. Well, I don't know. I think you got to be a member. But if anybody wants to make any comments or anything tonight, Dave will be monitoring that group tonight for any comments. Dave, I got a patriotic quote here I want to tell you tonight, Dave. This one's a special one. This one's kind of. I think you'll like this one, Dave. I'm going to read it now. And this is a quote. I'm going to read it from this. It says, "It was my duty to shoot the enemy, and I don't regret it. My regrets are for the people I couldn't save, Marines, soldiers, buddies. I'm not naive, and I don't romanticize war. The worst moments of my life have came as a SEAL, but I can stand before God with a clear conscience about doing my job." And that quote was from Chris
Amen.
Kyle. Chris Kyle, baby. That was one patriotic man. My hat's off to Chris Kyle out there, wherever he may be right now up there in heaven. I think a man like that would be in heaven, Dave.
Oh, absolutely. That. I tell you, if I could be half the man he was, I'd be happy.
And this is kind of funny, but everybody out there listening to this, everything I say on this show every week, I fact check it. I do. I really fact check everything on this show. But it's getting to the point where I'm having to start fact checking the fact checkers, and it's kind of weird. I mean, because they're contradicting themselves, and I've caught the fact checkers not being so factual, Dave.
Yeah, it's a sad state when it gets like that, I tell you.
Well, I think the internet's, I think it's getting changed up a lot. You know, Google and all that stuff. I think a lot of liberals are taking the internet over, and they're trying to put their ideology on the internet. You know, that's what I think, to be honest with you.
Well, I think you're right. You know, it goes back to what I've said about conservatives not capitalizing on momentum, and conservatives being a little standoffish and not making their voices heard. I mean, the conservative base generally are the ones that drive the economy, so their voices are loud if they put them to use.
Oh yeah, but I guess let's get this show started. That was just the intro. Can you believe that? That long, just the intro. But that Chris Kyle, man, I mean that guy. I watched that movie. What was that, Dave? The American Sniper. Great movie. Anybody gets a chance to watch it, watch it. But let's get started with our first topic here tonight, Dave. I guess it's something everybody's been talking about here today. Can you believe, Dave, that ABC canceled the Roseanne show over a tweet? They said it was racist. I mean, racist. Now the left's been calling everyone a racist that voted for Trump. I mean, she was even dropped by her talent agent. Roseanne did apologize about the tweet, and everybody, she's a comedian. She was a comedian, and I'll tell you what, I think Hollywood just hates Trump supporters. They hate us.
They do. The leftist liberals, you know, we're never going to fit into their agenda. We're their greatest fear. You know, their enemies. Now they, instead of coming together as Americans, they want to divide us. If you look at, I mean, you don't have to look no further than The View. If you look at the stuff that those ladies say about our president, I mean, you know, the name calling. Look at Jimmy Kimmel. Nothing, you know, that's all well and good, but when she does that because she's a conservative, it's almost like they hold us to a higher standard, and it's ridiculous.
Well, you said a minute ago before we started the show, you know, Roseanne probably don't care. She's got plenty of money anyway, but she did apologize. But I'm going to read this tweet to everybody out there, and you guys make up your mind if you think it was racist or not. Now she tweeted about one of Obama's advisors. I think her name was Valerie Jarrett, But here's her tweet, and it says, Muslim Brotherhood and the Planet of Apes had a baby equals VJ, and I guess that's Valerie
Valerie
Jarrett's
Jarrett.
her initials there. So I mean, to me, I don't find that racist, man. Come on, what's this country come to? Everybody's offended over every little thing. Dave, just look back. Let's go back to Archie Bunker. Some of the things he said on his show. My God, nobody said nothing about what Archie Bunker said. I mean,
Oh, Archie Bunker could never have a TV show in today's era.
not today's society. Archie Bunker would be canceled the first 5 minutes, man. I mean, but that tweet right there, do you find that racist?
No, I mean, I don't know if I would have tweeted something like that, but I mean, at the same time, I don't find it racist. If you look, like I said, if you just look at some of the stuff that our presidents had to endure from the left, some of the name calling, some of the generalization, and then when a conservative does it, they hold them to a higher standard, and they want to cut their heads off and chop their knees off. It's ridiculous.
Well, what was that lady's name? Jimmy was just telling us, Kathy Griffin. Wasn't she just holding up a head here a while back, a severed head of our president?
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at her career after that, though, she's kind of went downhill since then. But that just goes back to my point. If the conservative base come together and they could realize the power that they have, not only in our political system, but in our economy, in our culture, in our society, then that we could literally fight these liberals head on. And right now the conservatives are just way too divided.
Yeah, and that goes back to, like we was talking a couple weeks ago, like voter turnout. But one more thing on this Roseanne thing. I mean, they're giving her total crap about this, but didn't Obama meet with leaders from the Black Lives Matter movement and other civil rights activists at the White House? I mean, Black Lives Matter. Now, to me, that's kind of racist.
Well,
really? I think it is.
To me, it is. I mean, because to me, all lives matter. Whether you're black, white, yellow, whether you're black, white, yellow, green, blue, brown, it doesn't matter. And that's where we've talked about this in the past. That's where people, that once you put that stereotype up, then you're setting yourself up to draw a line where you have to go left or right. Guess what, guys? It doesn't matter if you're black, green, left, purple, yellow. It doesn't matter, because we're Americans first and foremost. We are Americans. So we are allowed to disagree. We don't have to always agree with each other, as long as we do it respectfully. And somewhere along the line, we've lost that.
Well, we've even lost our sense of humor, Dave. I mean, you can't even make a joke anymore. People get offended by it, and it's just everything's changed since I've been 20 years old till I'm 49. This whole country has just changed, and I don't like it, and I'm still looking for answers. You try to explain it to me every week, but I still I can't get in these people's minds. What are they thinking? Why would somebody be willing to give up their rights? I've been asking that question and asking it, and I still don't understand why any American would be willing to give up their rights to, say, own a gun. I mean, there's Americans, Dave, all across this country that wants to give our guns away. I don't get it, man.
And we'll never get it. We will never be able to understand their point of view, and just like they'll never probably be able to understand our point of view. I don't think the system that we have right now, being so divided, is what our founding fathers ever envisioned that it would be. I mean, we're still the greatest country in the world, but there's a lot of divide in our country right now. There's a lot of divide from the left and the right. Used to be, with the old blue dog Democrats. That you could reach across the aisle, and you could have a little common sense. You could have a little give and take. Nowadays, I mean, that's why we still run without a budget. There's no give and take anymore.
Well, I like the part you said, Dave, where we are all Americans and we all do bleed red. and we're all in this together. So we should start getting along with each other and loving each other in this country, because we've got threats, Dave. Over in other countries, we've got a lot of threats. I mean, the country, though, like Lincoln once said, if the nation ever falls, it'll probably fall from within. But we do have enemies across seas, and people should be thinking about that. And another thing I got to tell you, Dave, on that subject there, that you're right about America. Our opinions may differ, but our rights are the same. You know what I mean, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, we can disagree, but it doesn't mean that we have to take each other's rights. Let's take guns, for instance. If a liberal doesn't think that they don't want to own a gun, that's fine. If you don't want to own a gun, don't buy a gun. But don't sit there and think that you're going to take my right away, so I can't defend myself or my family if I want that right to buy a gun.
Well, see, even you as a conservative man. You're a conservative man, and you believe in the Constitution, and I know you love that big, great flag we have, that old glory, red, white, and blue. But you, as a conservative man that loves that flag we got, you still honor that person's right that may be across the street from you, burning that flag. I know it would kill you and it made you mad, but you still would not go over and take that man's rights away from him, because the First Amendment gives a man a right to burn a flag in this country. And I disagree with it, but we can't take their rights from them. But it's okay to take our rights away, though. You know, some people don't care.
Well, and I like I said, once again, it goes back to conservatives not having that rally cry, not getting energized. If we could do that as a group, the conservative base is powerful. We drive the economy. If we could only come together, but it's split. I mean, even if right now, if you look at what's going on in Congress with some of the more moderate conservatives that are trying to push immigration and stuff through, I mean, they're kind of butting heads with the leadership right now in the Conservative Party in Washington, D.C., and it's ridiculous. We have to come together. Unless
you said it once, reaching across that table, remember?
Reaching across the table. Now, unless you're in Ohio and our gubernatorial nominee is Mike DeWine. And then if that's the case, I'm sorry, but he's not conservative.
I'm glad you brought him up. I really want to talk about that for a little bit. We did talk about it one night. We've really been left in a pickle here in Ohio. We don't have any good choice for governor except for Dave Coots. And I'm not saying it in a joking manner, because it's true. I mean, a lot of liberals in this, or not liberals, but conservatives in the state of Ohio, they're going to go and they're going to vote for Mike DeWine just because of his name, just because they've heard of his name. They didn't look at his background. I mean, they didn't look at the way he voted. And I hate that when somebody don't research their candidate. We had a good candidate, but she lost. She lost it. Now she's even lining up behind Mike DeWine. Dave, I'm like you. I cannot, and I hate to make people mad, but I cannot and I will not stand and I will not gather and rally behind Mike DeWine. I can't force myself to.
Nope, I won't either, and I don't care if I make people mad or not. I vote what I believe, and I believe that he is bad for Ohio. I mean, if you look at his NRA rating, when your Democratic challenger has a higher NRA rating than you do, and you're a conservative, you are a rhino. Period.
Oh, I just can't. It amazes me that what the two choices that we've been left with. I mean, we've got a lot of other candidates to vote for, but the gubernatorial, I mean, the governor of the state, that's a big position, brother.
It is, but unfortunately, I'd rather write in Mickey Mouse.
No, we're going to write in Dave Coots. That Coots is for governor, and yeah, it's a long shot. Some people even may think we're crazy, but why not, Dave? Why not?
We are a little crazy, but at least we follow what we believe in.
Yeah, we're all a little crazy, and nobody can't say that we're not. I mean, everybody's got a little crazy in them, and yes, we are probably a little crazy. Damn, I can't believe you said that, but yeah. But I can't force myself to vote for a guy that's telling everybody he's a conservative, which I don't think he is. Like you said here a while back, at least Richard Cordray is telling you he's a Democrat.
Exactly.
And I guess we'll move along, Dave. This is something right here that you're not going to hear much about in the news because it don't fit their agenda. But just this past Memorial Weekend in Chicago, at least 8 people were killed and 25 others wounded in shootings across the city. Because, Chicago has some of the toughest gun laws in the country. That's why you don't hear about Chicago. You don't hear about places like that, or in California where they got strict gun laws. But if it happens somewhere like in a place like Texas or Ohio where the gun laws are a little lax, they'll blow it out of proportion. Not Chicago. Not in Chicago. You're not going to hear about it. Why is that?
Well, you said it doesn't fit their agenda. I mean, if you look, gun control laws don't work, and it's very simple why they don't work. Because criminals do not obey the law. When you make a new gun control law, the only thing that you're doing is you're making law-abiding citizens one of two things. You're either making them illegal, you're making them criminals themselves, or you're making them helpless because you're taking away their rights to defend themselves, their abilities to defend themselves. You're diminishing their capabilities of self-defense because they are the ones that's going to follow the law. Criminals don't care. And if I want to kill you bad enough, or if I want to do harm to you, it doesn't matter if I use a gun, a knife, a rock, a car. I mean, it doesn't matter. If somebody wants to do you harm, they're going to find a way to do it.
And I know last week we talked about, I think it was last week, we talked about that shooting in Texas, and it's always been the scary AR-15, but this kid came into school and had a shotgun and a revolver. So what about the scary AR-15? Now I remember Joe Biden coming out one time after one of them school shootings and said, I would just use a shotgun. You remember that statement from Joe Biden, Dave?
I do remember that, and people, and you know what that is? That's coming from people who have no knowledge of weapons. They have no knowledge of firearms. Because I'm telling you right now, you can do a whole lot of damage with that gun, with that shotgun that kid used in that school.
But Dave, I tell you, I think what would really work, what would really scare the bad guys away, I think you just get them signs that says gun-free zone. You just need a gun-free zone sign, hang it up on your door, hang it up where you go to work or whatever, and a bad guy's going to see that sign. He's going to run when he sees that gun-free zone sign, Dave. And I'm being sarcastic, by the way, but those gun-free sign zones, they really work really good, Dave. You know what I mean?
I agree. You know the sign that I have in my driveway is due to the current price of ammunition. Warning shots will be foregone. So, I mean, take your pick.
No gun-free zone signs at your house, then, huh?
No gun-free zones in the Coots house. I can tell you that right now.
I didn't think you had one of them signs. I was just kidding, by the way. But I seen this little video that says that it was showing a guy would come in and rob this store. The guy pointed down at the sign and it said gun-free zone. And the crook says, "Oh God, I got to get out of here." It was just funny. I thought I'd bring it up, but
well, and it goes back to legislators passing gun laws. Gun laws don't affect criminals, guys. They affect law-abiding citizens. Newsflash.
Isn't there already enough gun laws on the books if they would just enforce what's already there? We don't need any more gun laws, for Christ's sake.
No, we don't. We just need. That's exactly right. We just need them to enforce what's on the books.
Well, you forced me into it, Dave. I wasn't going to read this, but I'm going to read this. This is something everybody's probably heard 10,000 times or more in their life. But I'm going to read this just one more time. And let's just see if we can figure out these last 4 words of this, okay? I'm going to read this. Now, this is the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Now, here's the 4 words. that I don't understand why people don't understand. Shall not be infringed. This is one of the easiest amendments that we have to understand. Shall not be infringed. What part of that doesn't these left-handed, left-wing nuts do they don't understand? Shall not be infringed. That's the part I've never understood.
Well, they understand it. They just don't care. They just want to bend and turn and work things so that it works to their benefit, thinking that we're just going to take it. You know, it goes to, hey, guess what? You know what I've got on my arm, brother.
I know what you got on your arm, right? That Moanabe, and that what does that mean? Come take it?
Come and take it.
But that Second Amendment, Dave, it means so much because when they formed our country, back in 1776, we had the Revolutionary War. So many men died. I think we had 13 colonies, and it was only supposed to be 3% of the people rose up against the powerful nation in the world at that time, Britain, and we beat them. We beat them. We suffered. I know the Continental Army didn't do it alone. It was the militia that helped out. That was a civilian army that helped out the regular army. But we beat the most powerful nation on the planet, Dave. 3% of the people out of 13 colonies beat the greatest nation in the world. You tell me Americans can't do something when they put their mind to it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the world wars, World War I and World War II.
Oh, you mean, wait, well, both of them, didn't we fight Germany in both those wars?
Both of them, but I mean, if you just look at the American resolve, though, if you look at the American grit, Americans coming together, when they do that, they are the greatest nation in the world, bar none.
Oh, yeah, even at home, what was that, they had that Rosie the Riveter, I mean, showing the women pulling up their friggin', the sleeves of their arm and making tanks and planes and ships, and, I mean, America, to me, I think, World War II was, we haven't been this patriotic since President Trump, since World War II. Donald Trump has brought back more patriotism to this country since World War II. That's what I meant to say.
He absolutely has. If you look at the country and the twists and turns that it's took over the years, we've got away from patriotism. We've got away from honoring our flag. We've got away from saying prayer in school. We've got away from saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Why? It goes back to what you said earlier. It offends everybody. If you're that easily offended, I'm telling you right now, you better get your kids ready for failure, because life is not all fun and games. Not everybody wins a trophy, guys. There's winners and there's losers in life.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That reminds me of something. Wasn't it back in school during the Obama administration when everybody was winners, nobody was a loser, everybody got a trophy? But when I was in school, if you lost, you were a loser, and you got called a loser. You know what that did? That made you want to try harder next time to be a winner.
What have I always told you? Second place is just the first loser.
First loser. I love that saying. That only you would come up with something like that. I love that saying, though. And it is true. I mean, if you come in second place, you're just the first freaking loser. So, get over it. If you lose, don't go get crying and whining and, oh, you're a winner. You're a loser. Try harder.
You know what champions do? When a champion comes in second place, he doesn't give up. He just works harder.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If everybody's a winner, well, these kids don't even care. They're not even going to try to win because we're all winners. Little Johnny's a winner. Little Johnny he didn't even care to play, but he's still a winner. I got a ribbon. I'm happy. No, Johnny, you're a loser. Go home. You're a loser. Try harder. You'll come back and be a winner, brother.
Exactly.
Be a better man. Make a better man out of little Johnny. I don't like these little Johnnies, Dave. I'm tired of these little Johnnies. The little liberal Johnnies. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Little liberal Johnnies. I think we just got a new name for them.
Anyway, I don't know if everyone out there listening feels like me, but I am tired. And I'm sick, and it makes me gag every time I hear the word Russian collusion. I'm just sick of it. I can't take it no more. I don't know how you feel. Do you feel the same way?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know how long they can keep doing this because what's happened is now you've got Mueller who's, trying to search at private attorneys'
Yeah, fill
offices
us
and all
in
that.
on it. Fill us in on this. What's going on with this crap?
They're just trying to they're casting a bigger and a bigger and a bigger net, and then they're just trying to pull anything that they can in, hoping that something sticks. You tell me what that has to do with Russian collusion. After over a year, if they haven't found anything wrong, there's no Russian collusion. They are costing the American taxpayer millions and millions of dollars for no reason at all. Why? Because
it's a witch hunt.
Well, they're still butthurt because Hillary was the shoe-in. Remember, she was the shoe-in. There is no way Trump has a path to the presidency.
Well, that's something. You mentioned her name now, so I'm going to finish it. I wasn't going to mention her name on this show, but you did. But anyway, Hillary Clinton, I'm going to tell you right now, everybody out there listen, Hillary Clinton, she blames everyone except for herself for losing that 2016 election. She still thinks the Russians caused her to lose, and I just find it funny anymore. She's still going around giving speeches today about how she lost, and she blames everybody but herself. She wasn't. I don't have a problem with a woman president. Just not that lady. And I'll tell you one thing, and you can say what you want next, Dave. But every time I hear that woman's name, Hillary Clinton, I think of these words. What difference at this point does it make? Every time I hear her name, I think of that comment she made over those 4 dead men that she caused to get killed over in Benghazi, Libya. That was all her freaking fault, and I can't stand that lady.
Well, I mean, not only that, Donald, but you know what I think of? Stevens, Smith, Doherty, and Woods. That's the 4 men that lost their lives. That's what that's just one of the things. I mean, we're just a basket full of deplorables. I mean, let's sell Russia some uranium. We won't even
your weapon. Yeah, say your enemy weapons to kill us with. Yeah, that's a good thing to do.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. If that lady would have become president, and I have no problem with a woman being a president.
No, me neither.
There are a lot of great women out there who honestly would probably even do a better job than Mr. Trump if they ever decided to run for president. And I'll tell you right now, I would definitely vote for him. It's not about whether you're a man or you're a woman. It's what you bring to the table. It's what you can do for the country. If you look at everything that he's done for this country in a little over a year that he's been in office, I mean, it's remarkable. And not to mention the fact that he's being fought on every turn. Everything that he tries to do, he's either getting opposition from the liberals or from his own party.
Yeah, you must have, I don't know, some kind of psychic abilities, because it's the second time you've done that. It's almost weird, but I was just getting ready to say, I'm almost 40 years old, and I have never seen a president that has done so many good things for our country, and never, I'll say it twice, gets any credit from the media. I mean, he could be passing out brand new $100 bills in the White House lawn, and I guarantee you, somebody out there would find something to gripe about, something bad, something sinister about our president.
Yeah, they would, and it's really pathetic. But unfortunately, that's the type of society that we live in now. It sucks. It really does, but I mean, what are we going to do about it? The only thing that I know we can do about it is like our friend Sheila Patterson Bowman says, let's start that red lava wave. Let's get that lava wave going.
She always mentioned that red lava wave. She is, and I appreciate her. And she's probably listening tonight, so hello, Sheila, if you're listening to the show out there. And Chris Fitzwater, if you're listening, hello. But, Dave, let's hope for the lava wave, but this is an older story, but wait a minute. Let's back up. There was something else I was wanting to talk about that I hear about a lot. Before I go into this story, is Hillary ever going to get tried and sentenced to prison? I'm going to ask you that real quick. No. You don't think she's ever going to see a day in prison for what? For crimes against this country, treason?
I don't think she'll ever see a day in prison. I think even if another special counsel is made, number one, if you do form another special counsel to investigate all the spying and everything that they've done, you better put really good armed guards around him, because the Clinton machine, he'll accidentally shoot himself in the back of the head. But I've talked about it before. The Clinton machine, she will never see a day in jail. She will never see a day in a courtroom. Ever, in my opinion.
Well, that's just a big topic, Dave. People are still wanting justice. A lot of people in this country, they want justice.
And we all want justice. We all want her to stand accountable for the things that she's done to the country, but she's not going to. Why? And here's another reason: because of the media. If you look at everything, the way they twist and turn stuff, when you put something out, and if it's derogatory toward them guys, it gets absolutely no coverage, hardly any coverage. If it's derogatory towards a conservative, look at Roseanne. It'll be blasted for 2 weeks to come, and it's ridiculous.
That was a good point right there. Very good point right there. And I look at it like nobody's above the law, and she shouldn't be above the law, and she did commit crimes. And Richard Nixon didn't do nothing compared to Hillary Clinton. But the guy even resigned before they impeached him. But think about it. I mean, everybody wants her to go, and you're right. She's probably not going to see a day in jail, and that's not justice. And Jeff Sessions, I think Trump needs to fire him. He is doing his job. I liked him at first, but I'll tell you what, and again, I may be making some conservatives mad, but Jeff Sessions, buddy, you just ain't doing it right. She should have went to jail, Dave. She should have already been to jail.
Well, she should have, and I think that if they'd done some digging, they might find out that POTUS at the time, Mr. Obama, knew a lot about it too. So, I mean, what would happen with that? That's what that's what I'm saying. The Clinton machine is working, and she's never going to see a day in prison. As much as we want her to, as much as half the country would jump up and down if they arrested her, it would be a party to see. To see at the FBI raiding her house. That would be. That would be a party.
I would like to see her and the whole peanut gallery go down. The whole peanut gallery, just like you said, Obama too, Loretta Lynch, whoever had these Podestas.
Eric Holder.
Eric Holder.
Let's not forget him.
What's old Weiner and Uma Abedin, his wife.
Well, I think Weiner's already in jail, ain't he, for some child charges or facing them or something? I think
he needs to be if he isn't. I hope he is. Could you believe that guy? What was he, like a governor or a senator or something? I don't even know what he was, but sicko. He's a sicko, man. Well, I guess we'll move on, Dave. This is an older story, but I want to talk about it tonight, Dave, because we talked about this here a while back. Just me and you did it in a conversation. And I'm not saying anything bad about the Catholic religion, but a while back, Pope Francis kind of condemned Trump being a Christian, and he didn't like Trump's plan to build a wall on our southern border. Now look at this. The Pope lives in Vatican City, and this came from you, Dave. I looked this up, and it was true. Vatican City. It's a small state with sturdy walls all around it, Dave. Now you tell me why the Pope would come out and condemn a border wall, but I know people can come and go in Vatican City, but there is a wall, nevertheless, around Vatican City. Now, why would Pope Francis come out and condemn our president on wanting to protect and help the people of America? Why?
Well, because it all goes back to their agendas. And if you look at the Vatican City, I mean, people can come and go somewhat, but look at the Pope's security that he has. He's not in any danger. Why? Because he has special security. Nobody's going to get to that man. So he doesn't worry about if he has a wall. He doesn't worry about if he has an open door. He doesn't care because he's got people that are taking care of him, that are protecting him 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So he could care less. So it's easy to say, "Oh, don't put a wall up, leave your border open, let all those people come over, and then let the everyday American deal with them." That's the problem. You have these celebrities that speak out against it. They live in walls. They live in gated communities.
Yes. Yeah,
they have bodyguards. You know, the same with the politicians. Who was it? The young Kennedy that done the after Trump's State of the Union speech talked about, well, if you build the walls, we'll tear them down. Then if you look at his house, he's got a big wall around it. Well, how about tearing your wall down first and unlocking your door and let people come in whenever they want?
Well, that kind of sounds like old Rosie O'Donnell here a few years back when she was on this crusade to take our guns away. But they found out that she was being guarded by men with guns in their pocket. It's okay to take our guns, but no, don't take their guards away from them that's carrying guns. It's okay for us poor working Americans out here, or just poor Americans that don't work, to not have guns. But it's okay for the rich. It's okay for the elite. You know what I mean?
Well, it goes back to that double standard. And if you look at Rosie, not Rosie O'Donnell, but Roseanne.
Okay.
You know, if you look at that, the double standard. You know, the liberals do what they want.
Oh yeah.
They say what they want. It's all a big double standard for those people.
Well, there's some good news for President Trump, though. I was reading this thing that said he's chipped away at big Democratic leads in a key 2020 election survey, and it says internal polls show that President is doing even better than in 2016 when he beat Hillary. He's doing better right now in some kind of polls they're doing, and it says overall the data points to Trump making gains with his base and key groups. Now listen to this. Key groups such as NASCAR fans and Walmart shoppers. So basically, what is it? Just us poor people like Trump? Is that what that means? NASCAR fans and Walmart shoppers.
I mean, I guess technically you could say that's kind of mean to say in generalizing people to begin with. I mean.
Well, I swear I read this article. I think I even sent it to you. But really, NASCAR fans and Walmart shoppers, they said that's where he's the people really like Donald Trump as those. Now that's more separation. That's what causes separation in this country. That kind of talk does. We don't need that kind of talk.
No, we don't. It does. It definitely separates us.
Well, I guess everybody knows that this story that I'm getting ready to talk about, Trump was going to meet with Kim Jong-un. Then he sends him a letter saying that he wasn't going to meet with him. Now, on Sunday, there was a U.S. official that crossed into North Korea to hold some kind of talks on preparations for a possible summit meeting. And I'll tell you the truth, I really hope they do end up meeting, just for the simple fact that not Kim Jong-un, I don't care about that guy or his military, but those people over there, I mean, we've got some bad sanctions on them people right now, and his people over there suffering, and I think it would be the best for him to meet with our president just for the sake of his people. They don't deserve that, man, just because of him and his big ego he's got. Him, his father, and his grandfather, they've tortured them people over there. But they don't have guns to fight back like we did back in the Revolutionary War, Dave.
Well, not only that, but those people are indoctrinated as soon as they're born and they start growing up. They're completely indoctrinated. They have no idea what the outside world is like.
Well, I mean, you don't think for a minute, though, they don't sit around and think, hey, man, I wish I had some better food, or I wish I could go buy a car, or I wish I could just step up and say what I wanted to say, but they're not allowed to do that because they get shot down. I don't know why they put up with it. I know they don't have guns, but my gosh, I mean, I guess if they did speak up, like I said, they just shot down, so... Like, well, I don't know if you're just born that way. I don't know. It makes me mad.
Well, if it's all, here's the thing: if it's all you've ever known, then you just don't know. You don't know the difference, because if you're totally indoctrinated to it and it's the only thing that you've ever known, you don't know the other side. So that's why they are the way that they are. They're in constant fear. I mean, because they know that they could be pulled out of their homes at any time and killed. That's what makes America great. You know, that's why people need to realize that this is the greatest country in the world, that we have opportunities that nobody else has. And that's why we need to come together as Americans.
In Britain, I know they're our ally, but those people over in Britain, they're not even allowed to. I think they're trying to take their knives away from them over in that country.
Not only that, but if you look at the big news lately, is I think the guy's name is Tommy Robinson. They give him 13 months in jail because he was going around and he was reporting on rapes and crime and stuff from radical Islam. And Britain right now, if you speak out against Islam, they're putting you in jail. You have no First Amendment right. You have no First Amendment rights over there. There was a big demonstration. People wanting him freed because they give him time in jail. From what I don't know, because I haven't dug into it yet, but apparently he was just reporting, the crimes and what they were doing and stuff. So it's a mess over there.
Now, man, this is a really big topic that I hear a lot. I get a lot of messages, and a lot of people in this country, they fear these Muslims are trying to take this country over, Dave. And I know I keep repeating your name. I don't know why it's a habit. I keep saying Dave. I know people out there probably. I'm trying to work on it. It's a bad habit, but we do have a problem with the Muslims. We really do. People are scared. I mean, what was we talking about that town the other day that's full of Muslims? What's it? Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn. Now, I seen a video the other day where like a truckload of Muslim men were going around and they're trying to convert people, Americans, to become Muslim. And if you don't, I mean, I don't know what they're going to end up doing. If we don't slow down them coming in our country, we've got a Dave, what can we do about this problem? What do you feel about the Muslim problem in this country? Just tell me a little bit about what you think about the Muslim problem.
Well, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. There's lots of Muslims in the world and in this country that love their country. And I've talked to you about this before and told you, if you radicalize any religion, it becomes bad. I think, to me, and this is my opinion, Islam is probably one of the easiest to become radicalized in, because some of it is a lot of hate. And the thing is to them, if they believe in Sharia law, it's in direct conflict with our Constitution. So if for them to come over here and try to implement stuff like that, it's a no-go. That's a negative. You're a no-go at this station. What you need to do is you need to assimilate, or you need to get out.
Well, I agree with that, but there's so many of these Muslim mosques anymore, Dave. And there I go again with the Dave. But I drive around and there's a Muslim mosque. What is it, like 10 miles from my house? No windows. It's just like, what are they doing in there? And another thing, this Quran. They read this. I guess it's their version of our Bible, or their Bible, or whatever you want to call it. But this Quran, this guy that they worship, wasn't he like a pedophile? Muhammad, yeah. Didn't he like rape little girls and stuff? And don't it teach that anybody that's not a Muslim is an infidel? And wouldn't we be considered infidels according to the Quran?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's not right, though. We should. I know that our founding fathers said we have a right to practice whatever religion we want to, or not practice religion. But any religion that comes over and says, if you're not part of that religion, you're an infidel, I just don't think that's good for our country, man.
It's not. It's not. And what they need to do is they either need to assimilate, or they need to get their butts out of here. Why? Because we already have the greatest country in the world. There's room for you if you want to be peaceful. If you don't, if you want to come in and try to change our Constitution, if you want to try to change the way that we live, you don't need to be here.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And Oh gosh, it's 8:51. We got a few minutes left, but I'm gonna get to some more of these other topics, Scott Dave. This Chelsea Clinton. You remember old Chelsea Clinton, don't you?
Oh,
You remember
yeah.
her, old Bill and Hillary's? I don't like saying her name on my show, but Chelsea. She said in an interview, Dave. She was over in Britain somewhere in some kind of British media outlet that the Trump administration, is laden with cruelty and incompetence and corruption, and President Trump's actions degrade America. And this girl, why don't she look at her father, what he did? Are you got to be kidding me? Her saying this stuff about President Trump when and the things that her father did? Come on.
It's ridiculous. And here's the thing. When did it become a bad thing to love your country and be patriotic and want to make it the greatest country in the world? When did that become a bad thing?
Cruelty. Yeah. When did it come bad to say make America great again? When did it become bad to build our military back up? The military that protects us. We, the citizens of this country, we have to have a strong military. And that daggone Obama, Clinton, and I'll tell you right now, I said it again. They depleted our military. I don't even know if we could have fought one war with them in office. I mean, we're supposed to be a country that's ready to fight 2 wars at any time. And President Trump is getting our military back. And I'm happy. I'm glad he's doing that.
Well, it goes back to peace through strength. You know, if you look back at Ronald Reagan, when he was fighting the communism, that's one of the best ways was peace through strength. And somewhere along the line, we lost focus of that. And I think that our president is doing a great job at bringing it back, putting it back into perspective that this is how we're going to be strong. We are going to be the biggest, baddest boy on the block, and if you mess with us, we will black your eye.
Well, you're right, and as we speaking right now, we've got 2 U.S. Navy warships. They're sailing near the China Sea Islands, claimed by China after Beijing landed a nuclear-capable bomber and deployed missiles there. Now, let's talk about this China Sea Island for a minute. What is this all about? This China Sea Island they got over there.
It's about China trying to lay claim to land to areas in the South China Sea that don't belong to them. So what they've done is they've took these reefs and started making man-made reefs and turned them into man-made islands, and then said, "Oh, look, this is Chinese territory. You stay away or else."
But them islands, they are in international waters, right?
I don't know exactly. I know they've been disputed for years. I do know that. I think Japan, maybe even Taiwan or somebody like that. It's some of those countries over there. Those islands have been disputed for years and years and years.
And the only reason I ask you that is because I read this thing that said that U.S. forces operate in the Asian Pacific region on a daily basis, including the South China Sea. We do this to demonstrate that the United States will fly, sail, operate wherever international law allows. That's why I asked you if that was international waters.
And it is away from those islands is international waters. But I do know that those waters have been, those islands have been contested, and since China has put some of those man-made islands in, they've kind of come in and said, "Huh, it's ours now, get away." They've actually even told us to stay away, and when they've done that, what we've done is we've actually flown reconnaissance planes and stuff over them, which once again goes back to being the big boy on the block, peace through strength, and saying, "Sorry about your luck, but we're going to do what we want to do because we don't recognize your man-made island."
Do you think that since President Trump took office that we've been doing more of these reconnaissance missions and stuff over that island?
I'm sure we have, and that's the thing is if you look at the stuff, look at what he's done. If you look at what the president has done, even militarily, I mean, nobody else could ever get Kim Jong-un to even think about taking away his nuclear
Oh,
weapons.
70 years.
We tried. I mean, they tried everything. They tried to bribe him. They tried to starve him. You know, they tried everything. Nobody could do it. But then you get somebody that comes in who's very unconventional as a president, and who says, "Hey, if you mess with us, I'm going to smack you in the mouth." And for some reason or another, he got his point across to that leader. And he said, "Whoa, you know, I better straighten up here. Let's see what we can do." So whether you like Trump, whether you hate Trump, that you can't sit back and dispute the reasons and the things that he's had done is some of the best in history.
He is a very effective president, and I don't know why the media has it out for him, because they got this liberal agenda. Dave, he is a very, very effective president, and like I said earlier, he just doesn't get any credit that he deserves. I don't think he does. I know we the people give him credit, and if he does decide to run again in 2020, I think he'll win in the landslide, to be honest with you, brother.
Well, and if he don't, then the America that we know is in a world of trouble. I can tell you that. There's 66 million deplorables that I'm sure will do what they can to make sure that doesn't happen. So,
well, let's just hope that in 2020 that he can get everybody energized like he did in 2016. And you know, I'm gonna tell you something that I always thought that a sitting president on his first term, coming up for re-election, didn't have to like run in the primaries, but that's okay. We just got poked. We got to wrap it up, but I'll finish it maybe next week what I was going to talk about. But Dave, you go ahead and end the show, brother. Good night, everybody.
Hey, everybody. We always like to end the show with a shout out to our troops, like we opened the show. If you guys are listening around the world, or if you're listening at home, we want to tell you that we love you. We're praying for you. We support you 110%. And you guys keep your head down and your powder dry, boys.
God bless America. Amen, brother.
God bless President Trump.
Amen. Amen to that.